millions of dollars have been invested in some publicly traded stocks of the Adani Group through opaque Mauritius funds. While the Adani Group has rejected all allegations and called the report a concerted bid by Soros-funded interests supported by a section of the foreign media to revive the meritless Hindenburg report. Congress MP Rahul Gandhi in Mumbai, where he is to attend the India meet in Mumbai, took on the Prime Minister over the fresh round of Adani allegations. Rahul raised the Financial Times report demanding a JPC probe against Adani, claiming over $1 billion were taken out of India, circulating outside and brought back to the country. Rahul also demanded that the Prime Minister break his silence and investigate Adani.
That money to capture Indian assets, at the very least, the question of course is, why is this one gentleman who is close to the Prime Minister of India allowed to move $1 billion to pump up his share price, to use that money to capture Indian assets, airports, ports? Why is there no investigation taking place? It's very important that the Prime Minister of India, Mr. Narendra Modi, clears his name and categorically explains what is going on. At the very least, a JPC should be allowed and a thorough investigation should take place. I don't understand why the Prime Minister is not forcing an investigation. Why is he quiet? Why doesn't he say that he is going to make sure that this issue is investigated and the people who are responsible are put behind bars? This is raising a very serious question on the Indian Prime Minister just before leaders of the G20 are coming here, are going to be our guests, and they're going to be asking the question, what is this special company? This company that is owned by a gentleman close to the Prime Minister, why is it that in an economy like India, this gentleman is being given a free ride?
Studio with me is Siddharth Zarabi, Managing Editor, Business Today Television. Siddharth, will you, for our viewers, break down the fresh round of allegations that have just come up where the Adani Group is concerned, and how different or similar are they to the Hindenburg report?
Well, 8 months ago, the Hindenburg report was massive. It led to at its peak, $100 billion erosion in the market cap of the Adani stocks. This, in comparison, focuses on two individuals and two entities which are accused to have acted in concert in some ways with the Adani Group, the promoter group, and purchased shares of Adani Group companies via overseas offshore entities. And the two individuals who have been named are said to be acting in concert with Vinod Adani, who resides overseas. The sum of money that is alleged to have been invested at its peak, one of the numbers is $430 million, but this is around 2016-17. And the allegation is that money was in some ways linked to the Adani empire, was reinvested in Adani companies, and the allegation therefore is that it is illegal and amounts to stock manipulation. There's one clear thing as far as the report of this entity OCCRP is concerned. That report does not provide any details and says there is no evidence that this money actually came from the promoter group, because that is the crux of any allegation, but it shows and claims that it has documents which show that they acted in concert in a coordinated manner with the Adani promoter group. I think if you were to compare it to Hindenburg, it takes one or 2 points, especially the point of foreign entities and what they have done. And I must remind our viewers at this stage that the market regulator SEBI has told the Supreme Court that it is still awaiting information from 5 nations, tax havens as they are described, with regard to almost a dozen entities to determine who was the actual economic owner, beneficial owner of those entities. So that information is not available with the Indian regulator or the Indian Supreme Court, and therefore these allegations add to that particular aspect a bit more, Preeti.
Right. Siddharth, just very quickly, I'll come to you on this once again before I let you go. So right now, is there a clear money trail, which we were speaking of? Number one. Number two, what does Adani Group have to say in all of this?
Well, you know, the whole thing would depend on whether, if this were to be a violation of the law, if these two people, one of whom is actually a Taiwanese national and not a Chinese national, whether they acted on behalf of the Adani promoters. The Adani Group has come out with a strong statement. It is calling all these allegations recycled, and they say that these have already been discounted, are old sort of repackaged allegations which have not been found to be true. So we'll obviously have to wait for how this pans out. Remember, the Supreme Court is still seized of the matter, and we will get to know more once further hearings take place.